Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giant football? If so, sit back and relax. Except you, that person driving. Sit up and keep your eyes on the road. Your ears, though, can still listen as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
me, Rob. Let's talk about some line work.
Oh, yes, we're talking about the big boys today. The big boys.
Hokey.
Beefcake.
Beefcake.
So today we're going to be talking about all of the offensive linemen here in this upcoming draft. The centers, the guards, the tackles. And obviously we're going to do a big focus on the centers too as well, because let's be honest, we kind of need one. It's kind of the center of our focus, if you will.
Ooh, I see what she did there. Besides a cornerback, this might be the most valuable position that the Giants draft this year.
Yes, very well could be, because I know everybody wants to talk about the number one receiver, but the more and more reports come out, the more and more reports agree with what we talked about, that there really isn't any top wide receivers in this draft. As much as everybody wants a number one wide receiver,
there's a top four out there, but we also got Wandell. Let's not forget Wandell. Poor guy came too.
One.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
So he's the size of a half.
Yeah, it's a Smurf.
La 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 la. Alrighty, guys. So as always, before we get started, we do give you a little bit of the NFL and Giants news. So first up, Giants news.
It's time for the news.
And we have to wish a very special happy birthday today to Coach Brian Dable, who officially turns 48 years old, or 48 years young, depending how you want to look at it. Yeah, I think probably old, but still. He's a little older than me, I can say it there. Yeah. It's bad that I reached the point in my life that I'm closer to the age of the coach than I am the players. Yeah, I've reached that point. It is what it is, though. I mean, honestly, hope Dable has a great, birthday. If he wants to celebrate his birthday by coming on the show, we're happy to have him on, of course. I think the chances of that are pretty slim to none there. I think we're... Yeah. So also got a little bit of draft news for the Giants here as well. The Giants are meeting with TCU running back Kendra Miller and also Clemson defensive end / edge Brian Breesy. So big thing to keep an eye on, because when you look at who the Giants are meeting, it tells you what positions they're looking at. Whether they draft the person they meet with or not, you only get so many meetings. You don't go ahead and go, let me waste it on one that I don't actually need to do. You talk to who you're genuinely interested in. And it gives you an idea of not just what position, but what type of player at said position they're looking at there. So, like I said, keep an eye on that, Giants fans, because like I said, it really helps you get an idea of what's going to happen with this draft here. Yeah. As best as they can make it, at least.
I mean, how many quarterbacks have they met with?
Quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Or cornerback, sorry.
Quarterbacks.
They've met with a couple, actually. And that tells you that they're probably going to go ahead and get a backup quarterback in this draft to be the third quarterback this year. And hopefully, for their sake, they'll replace, Tyrod Taylor as the backup going forward, because Tyrod isn't a cheap backup. Cheap backups are nice to have. So we'll see how that pans out, of course, over the year and over the draft even. All righty, so before we get started on the big boys here, we do have a little bit of NFL news for you guys. Oh, yes, the NFL news. So first up, the Cowboys. I saw this as a rumor that the Cowboys are going to be looking to make a draft night trade for running back Derrick Henry. And I got to say, I don't understand the sensibility in this. Like, you just let loose Ezekiel Elliott. You're tagging Pollard and going to pay him at least $10 million this year, depending on what you do as far as a long-term deal. Why would you go ahead and trade a guy who a lot of people think is going to start going pretty soon here? He's got a lot of miles in those tires.
because Jerry Jones, he wants to replace Zeke Elliott without paying Zeke Elliott, and
he could just replace Zeke Elliott with Zeke Elliott.
He could.
He'd come back in a heartbeat. Nobody else seems to want him.
He would, and a lot cheaper deal. And Derrick Henry is one of those bulldozer kind of running backs, which would replace him, and he could probably get him on a cheaper contract than what he was paying Zeke.
It's cheaper than Zeke, yes, but cheaper than what Zeke would come back for, no. I'll word it that way.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, there's a lot of rumors that come to be BS by the time is coming past. So we'll see how that rolls there. The biggest news we've had the last couple of days here, and if you saw anybody in burgundy and gold celebrating recently, it's because Dan Snyder has officially agreed in principle to sell the Commanders for over $6 billion. This is by far the biggest price ever paid for an American sports franchise. I mean, blows the previous. I think the previous number is like $4.5 billion, which is still like, just another $500 million. But still, it's like that's a lot of freaking money. Ole. That's it. Yeah. So
make $1 million. Damn.
This is a great day for Commanders fans. It is a horrible news for basically every other team in the NFL because we all know Dan Snyder was a horrible owner, and as long as he owned the Commanders, they can only go so far. Call it like it is. We also had big news drop here this afternoon here, right before, actually this evening, before we went ahead and started shooting. Pro Bowl safety Budda Baker has requested a trade from the Arizona Cardinals. Before anybody begins, no, we're not going to trade for him. I can already see the articles now. Should the Giants trade for Budda Baker? No.
No.
We still got to pay Xavier McKinney after this year, a nice big contract, and you don't pay two safeties. It's not what you do. You get one cheap, you pay one, and you hope for the best out of the cheapie. That's how it works in the NFL. So, see, we got our first comment here from Beef White. I am an original goofball for the Giants. 55 years. I've seen all the good, the bad, and the ugly. So here's what I'm going to ask.
Save our beefs.
I want to hear, go in the comments section, Beef. I want to hear the good. I want to hear the best thing you've seen as a Giant fan in your 55 years. I want to hear the bad, the worst experience you've had as a Giant fan. And I want to hear the ugly. And I have a feeling I know what the ugly is going to be, but I hit the ugliest, the most embarrassing moment as a Giant fan in the 55 years. I want to hear it. I can give you mine for 40. I can give you mine for 40, but you got a couple of years on me, so you got a little more experience. We can go into some more details, some of the better times, better than I can in the 80s and all. That's for sure. So I definitely want to hear it. So we'll let you guys know if she does comment there with that information. So, alrighty. So on to the offensive linemen. So like I said, we're going to start off here with the interior offensive linemen. So when it comes to linemen, I know it's like you break it down to center, guard, tackle. Keep in mind with some of these prospects, the things kind of move around and mesh together a little bit. You got guys that could play multiple positions. You got guys who played one position in college and could play a different position in the NFL because they're better suited because they barely made it in college as a tackle because of arm length or something. That kind of stuff pops up quite often.
All the time.
Like I said, we broke it down just interior offensive linemen and tackles. And I'm going to give you some information as far as what position we think they're best suited for as we're going down each of the, the different players here. So we got the first one up. Actually, we're going to do a three-way tie because, to be honest, I wanted to give you guys some more information on some centers, and I added a couple on there. So we're just calling the last three-way ties for 10th place. Just to cheat a little and give you guys a little more bonus info here. So, cheating. See, where's John? He just said we weren't cheaters of the night. Now we
John, we miss you already, man.
Yeah. He'll be popping on. He always does. Alrighty. So we got the first one here in our tie for number 10. You want to take it away, Rob?
Yes. Let's go.
On purpose, by the way.
What did you do on purpose?
I'm kidding.
Names?
You don't want to go first because if you get first, you get the really bad name to go.
It's all right. Ricky Stromberg from Arkansas. He's a center, 6'4", 318 pounds. Big boy. Beefcake.
Beefy.
He's a 4-year starter. He's played he's both played center and guard, something the Giants can use.
Mm-hmm.
But he struggled against some top talents.
Yeah.
This
And
guy,
the big thing is really SEC 4-year starter. We should say that specifically because that's a big key there. And I've seen some people say they don't think he struggled against some of the top talent, but I definitely saw a drop when he was going against some of the bigger name schools there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's a gritty center when he plays center, but like he also stands there like a wall and can get beat big time.
Yeah, but I think he has the potential to develop into a starter in this league. I do, and there are some people who love him, like Bobby Skinner of Talking Giants loves this kid. Like he talks about him quite often and likes him a lot. I don't like him as much as Bobby personally. That's not to say that either one of us is wrong. It's his draft, that's opinions, but you know. He's somebody that you might look at if you need a starting center. Who do we know needs a starting center?
Maybe a team that just picked up a center just to have the center.
There we go. All righty. What grade you putting on him?
C-.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll give you that kind of grade as well. I mean, I get him like a 4th, 5th round kind of guy. I do think he might sneak into the 3rd if somebody likes him enough, and I think that is possible.
If he's liked, I was going to say late 4th round, like C-, late 4th round.
Like I said, I'll give you that kind of time frame there. I think a 4th round, but that's like I said. I think somebody might fall in love with him because of the SEC play and the 4-year experience there. It might take him a little early. I think it's a little bit of a reach, but it wouldn't shock me if it happens. Next up in our top, that are tied for 10th place, so we can get some more additionals in. Alex Forsyth, Oregon center, 6'3", 305, high IQ, consistent in his play, very athletic. The issues he has in the end is he's got some balance issues. You get the right big guy against you in the right move, he's going to knock you over if you got balance issues. The other thing is he's not the pancake guy. If you're looking for the guy who can go ahead and finish strong, knock a guy flat on his gluteus maximus, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
This is not your guy who's going to do that. He's going to handle his job, but he's not going to push the person back so far he falls down. He can look for his next target to block after that. Another guy that I think 4th, 5th round kind of guy there at that point, but again, a guy that could develop into a legit NFL center in this league here. But I think he's going to need a little more development even than Ricky does. But being that he's coming from a little bit of a smaller school and I have him at a similar grade, I put him a little higher for that reason, because I'm kind of curious if he rises to the challenge of the next level.
Yeah, same. And just to piggyback off what you're saying, like he gets beat a little bit and he needs to be able to use his hands a little bit better, because he gets caught up with his hands and then they're stuck there and that's it. He's done.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to reset and start.
It's like he's calling for somebody in the crowd.
Yeah.
Hello.
He needs to go down. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Play.
Paint the fence.
Yeah.
Paint the fence.
Paint the fence.
As Connor comes in with the good, the bad, the ugly. Sounds like a girl I slept with from a club. Oh, those drinking days. I like how we're not just goofballs. Everybody in the comments section is as well. It works out great.
What club?
It depends where Connor's from. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Connor will tell us what club he's talking about here. Mine was always Club Bamboo in Seaside before the freaking idiots on that Jersey Shore show ruined Seaside Heights.
That's because you get the fishbowl over there, right?
That was it. Wasn't even the fishbowl. Point blank, it was the fact they had a catwalk above the music and actual conversation. Let's be honest with this face here. I had to count him. I had to count him personality.
I counted on the fishbowl.
There we go. All righty. Next up for our last and our tied for 10th.
Jarrett Patterson, Notre Dame. Guard, 6'5", 306 pounds. He played 3 seasons as a center before moving to guard. Smart with his technique. He's sustained blocks, barely in movement. Dude's like a brick wall.
Yeah.
He's probably another guy that I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him going late in the 3rd, because the ability to play at different positions. but also wouldn't be surprised to see him going right at the start at the 5th round.
What I like about him is there's certain schools that I trust with linemen. Notre Dame is one of those schools that has a really good pedigree of linemen coming out of the draft and succeeding in the NFL. That's not to say that they're all Pro Bowlers or anything like that, but I can't think of many players that are coming out of Notre Dame in the last 5-10 years that didn't make it in the league to varying degrees, obviously. And when you're talking about a guy who's an early day 3 pick, even if he just makes it in the league as a backup, that's still not a bad pickup there. Let's be honest, they're not looking for a starter typically in round 4 or 5. Looking for a developmental guy that may become a starter. So I like going to a school that's shown promise in its players.
Yeah. I mean, and once again, also versatile what he's doing over there. So
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, and I'd be wondering if we were to get him hypothetically, would we try to put him back to center and see what happens there? It's nice to have a guy who can move around a little, like Nick Gates was. How many players we had over the years. We like versatile linemen. The Giants always have. So yeah, we'll see where he goes. But yeah, I would say like same that we talked about before, 4th, 5th, maybe somebody grabs him late 3rd if they really fall in love with the guy. Alrighty, on to the real numbers. Number 9, Emil Ekiyor out of Alabama, guard, 6'2.5", 314 pounds. Very, very physical guard. This is the guy who's going to punch you right in the face there. Might get a penalty for it, but he'll do it. Very experienced overall. Plus, he played for Alabama, so what the hell? I mean, you play at that kind of school, you're probably going to have some talent. One thing I really liked about him is while he doesn't excel at either one, where you go, oh my God, this is like the best guy that I've seen at run blocking. This isn't the best guy I've seen at pass blocking. He's good at both. He's proficient at both. It has a little bit of balance issues as well. We talked about that before. That's a key thing. So if you can't stay on your feet, you're going to be having trouble in this league. He also does have short arms. But again, he is a guard at that point, so we're not looking at tackles here. There are guys with short arms. Yeah. Just you're gonna have to. He's gonna have to be a little bit quick on his feet there at that point to go ahead and move around to compensate for that a little bit, which is somewhat of an issue for him because technique is very good with him, but it's been inconsistent. You watch one play and he's like, "Wow, this guy's on point. This guy's like been trained so well and exactly how to move his whole body throughout a play." And then the next ball will snap. Like, what the hell? Where'd he go? It's a totally different guy now. So. I think round 4 for this guy, though, I think he's going to be a guy that someone's going to pick up as a backup guard and see if they can develop into a long term there.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, super talented, super technical. Doesn't have all the physical traits that you want to see from a center or a guard.
Yeah.
But can play the position.
Number 8. Now, I'm going to fair warn you on this one. I had to watch a video to learn how to pronounce this.
I am going to butcher your name out there, and I apologize. So,
and this is why I went to trade with you, so I can not give you this one. You took this one on. Let's see if you got it.
Olusegun, Timmy, Michigan State.
Olusegun, Oluwatimi.
Olusegun, Oluwatimi.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right there.
You got it.
So,
what's funny is,
if you want to come in and watch me push your name, come join us in the podcast.
I literally watched a video of this guy when he first went to Michigan conference, where all the reporters asked him to verify how to pronounce his name. Somebody actually put that up on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh, thank God," because there's no way.
They're so up there.
There's no way I was going to pronounce that even nearly correctly. Now, I have seen a lot of people just call him Olu.
Olu's fantastic.
Which makes sense because you got both the first and the last name. Exactly. It works great as a nickname. That's for damn sure. So we'll just call him Olu.
Yeah. Well, Olu over here is 6'2.5", 309 pounds. Guy is super competitive. Good football IQ, smart guy. He has a good pass block. But he also needs to get a little lower body strength in there. Like, he doesn't quite...
Squats.
Yeah, more squats. He doesn't quite get there deep in the position like he should.
Beefcake.
Be great. She's going to pull out his back. Just use his back the whole time as a center. But he also he lacks some dominance against the run. Well, in the run, let's just say against the run because he's played.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch his tape, you'll see a good pass play where he does like a day 2 level job. I won't say star where he's a first round kind of talent at that point. He does a day 2 level job in the pass game. But then you'll watch him in the run game and he looks just lost sometimes. It's just he's just not moving the same way, without the same confidence. Which is interesting because it's still the same game. It's not like game to game. It's the same drive even sometimes. And you're like, where the other guy goes a play ago. He's just not there. So yeah, I mean, I'm curious if that can be coached out of him overall. I think he's a project kind of guy that could eventually become a starter. I got him like a 4th round pick. Where are you thinking?
Probably mid-round 4th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're at the same on there one. So number 7. This is the sob story, guys. Get your tissues out.
And your hockey mask.
Andrew Voorhees, not Jason Voorhees. Andrew Voorhees. I didn't look to see if he was born on February 13th. I didn't look. Guard at a USC. Guard, 6'6". He's a tall boy. 320 pounds. Here's the sob story. Remember during the combine, the player who tore his ACL? Andrew Voorhees. And he has dropped because of that. Because let's be honest, he did it right now before the ACL. Before the combine. That ACL usually takes almost a year to recover. Pretty much. If you draft this kid, he's a redshirt freshman for all intents and purposes. You know, maybe you see him towards the very end of the year, but for the most part, you ain't going to see him till a sophomore year, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If you draft this guy, you're saving that nugget for later.
Yeah. Now, here's the best part about him. He played literally every single spot on the line at some point. He's that kind of versatility. He probably plays best at guard. That's why I'm calling him a guard. But he's another guy that I could see even like if you have him as a bench player, which again, we're talking to, mid-round kind of guys. So a lot of these guys are bench players in the end. I could see him being the guy who is a backup guard or even a starting guard that is also your backup tackle that you can go ahead and play tackle in a pinch with at that point. I mean, he has a little bit of issues at each position they show up, that's for sure. But one thing is he's extremely strong in pass protection. He's almost like that anchor kind of guy. Like he sets his feet, he does his pops, he doesn't move. Like you're not going to get him to push back no matter what. I've seen some guys at that point go against him that look like Gilbert Brown back in the day. Like, remember that guy from the Packers? I'm dating myself.
You are.
And they couldn't push it. They couldn't push him off. So good build overall. I mean, again, 6'6", 320 pounds. That's why he's hard to move.
Big boy.
That's a big boy. This is the guy the buffet regrets having come.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
all you can eat. Shut down.
Golden Corral locks the doors when they see him in the parking lot. But he's not the quickest feet. And that's when they talk about him being an anchor. That's a positive and a negative. He slowly sits there, and that's where he's at. He's not going to move around too much, but he's not going to move left to right or backwards. So pro and a con. And when he does have to move side to side, he's pretty slow at it there at that point. He does also need to work on lowering his pads just a little bit there, and I think it's going to help him. The main reason you do that, for those who aren't aware, because when you lower your pads, not only do you get better leverage, but when you get that pop, you get underneath the shoulder pads, not at the shoulder pads. And that's a big difference in how someone reacts when you get them in that right spot there. So I'm going to put him as a 4th rounder, but I'm telling you this, if it wasn't for the injury, he'd probably be an early 3rd rounder. I think he dropped about a round because of that, probably.
Maybe a round and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would go mid fourth round with this guy.
He lost a round.
Every now and then you snap an ACL. Lost a round.
See, it's almost like he's a giant before he's a giant. He's already tearing ACLs. He's like one of us.
Walk on board. Listen. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. All right, real quick before we get on to the next one here, Beef gave us some answers here. So the good, I have two. The first Super Bowl against Denver, one of my favorite players caught a big tip ball in the end zone for a touchdown, Phil McConkey. Yeah, I mean, that's the Rose Bowl game in 1980. Well, it's 86 season, so I guess it would have been technically 87 when it happened. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that one there. I was 4 years old at the time, so I mean, I've seen that tape a bunch of times there. I mean, Phil Simms had about as perfect a game as you can ever have, and really outdueled John Elway, and a very young John Elway at that. Also, my second good is when we beat the Patriots for the undefeated season. Listen, that was, yeah, I think that's most Giant fans.
Stellar.
We were talking about this in a group on Facebook, and they were talking about the best catch ever in Super Bowl history, and I said it's got to be the helmet catch. It's got to be. I understand it wasn't the touchdown that ended the game, and some people kind of forget that wasn't even the touchdown end of the game.
No,
people act like
that was.
But that touchdown ended the game doesn't happen.
Alive.
Yeah, that touchdown doesn't happen, and there's so many nuances to that play, not just the helmet catch, but also Eli Manning almost getting thrown to the ground.
Yeah, he broke the stack.
Yeah, the ref for once in their life swallowing the whistle, because I'm watching it myself live when it happened, thinking they're going to blow the whistle and kill the play just to save Eli from getting killed. You know, it's like I said, amazing. Let's see here. There's been a lot of ugly losses at the stadium. I can't believe we ever lost someone. At least sometimes in games. Yeah, the one to me comes to mind is Deshaun Jackson, that punt return, because that was like a biggest punch in the gut ever. Then says, do you guys remember, which I know you don't, at the end of the year, everybody was tailgating. They wouldn't go in the stadium. They burned their tickets in the garbage can. That's when they fired everybody, and they hired George Young as the GM. No, yeah, unfortunately, because of age, I don't know that one there as far as memory-wise, but I have read about that. Yeah, the Giants were kind of a laughingstock back in those days, that's for sure. All righty, on to number 6.
6. Cody.
You were very close to putting the number of the beast.
666, Cody Muchek.
No, Malk. Yeah. Malk.
I just can't pronounce, guys. I'm a terrible.
I even spelled it phonetically for us.
It says Moo.
It said Mao, MOW-CK.
Anyway,
Malk.
North Dakota State. He's a guard. 6'5".
Bison.
And he's about the size of a bison.
Yeah.
6'5", 302 pounds. He started college as a tight end.
Yeah.
He's
been around.
Yeah. He moves. Like a moo.
Remember there was this picture of this kid who started college, and it looked like a young, well-groomed kid. And then by the end of it, he had this long hair, and he's missing a couple front teeth and all. For those guys, you remember that? That's Cody Malk. That's who we're talking about. It was a big meme that went around. Started college, into college. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great run blocker. He's got great movement. Tough against he's tough, plays aggressive. He's got good balance. But he's also got those T-Rex arms.
Yeah, that he does. And a lot of people actually have him listed as a tackle because he played tackle in school. I do think that he's going to be a guard, though. I really do. I think there's no way in hell they don't actually go ahead and put him as a guard. He's just way too short arms there. Here, for those who are watching live, I'm going to go ahead and share the picture off my phone here. There's his before and after.
Oh, yeah.
Like, talk about like a little tiny little skinny kid to like the guy who looked like he lost a bar fight in Australia. But
this damn dingo.
You call that a knife? This is a knife. But yeah.
Call that a dentist? This is a dentist.
Another guy, I like him. I just don't know where to put him, and I think someone's gonna like him enough to draft him way earlier than I like him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's super talented. Like
super talented.
Super. He's seen all across the offensive line, from tight end to center to guard to tackle. He's gone all over. He's versatile. Someone might take him late in the second round, early third. I mean,
I'm wondering if somebody is going to think, oh, he can still play tackle even though he's got these little T-Rex arms. I really am, because I'm seeing some guys still list him as a tackle on their boards. And I just don't see it.
If you look at him, he looks like a guy that's been in a couple bar fights.
Like I said, and that to me is a guard all day long.
Yeah.
That's a guard all day long. Like I said, you could get somebody who disagrees with me there and try him as a tackle, but I think in the end, his home in the NFL is guard.
Most likely.
That's why I put him on our interior offensive line list. But like I said, you might see him if you look for more information on him in either one. You might see him tackle. You might see him as an interior offensive lineman. So, but yeah, I'm with you. Late second, early third. I think if he dropped to like our third round pick towards the end of mid to end of the third, and we can make a luxury pick, then I wouldn't mind having him. But otherwise,
if we're spending pick 57.
No, not a second round pick. I'm saying a third round pick.
As I'm saying, like if we're spending the 57th pick on this guy, like that we're reaching.
Yeah,
you get him late in the third round. I wouldn't mind seeing him on the team.
Yeah, so I'm saying that's a good spot for him.
Yeah.
All righty, number 5, Joe Tipman, Wisconsin center. And I'm going to tell you this: some people will say this is too low. There's a lot of people that like this kid a lot. My issue coming into it, it's weird because I talked about the getting a kid from Notre Dame is a good thing because he got some good experience. He's come from a good school. He comes from Wisconsin. Wisconsin is known for getting people with good mechanics to come out into the league. That's one of his issues. So 6'6", 313 pounds. He's big. He's athletic. He's experienced. He's not very flexible with his movements, and his mechanics, they're good. Don't get me wrong. He's got good moves overall, but it's like sometimes you feel like you're watching him in slow-mo. Like somebody put it at like 3/4 speed. Like he needs to speed up, and I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's him just trying to be very specific in his movement because his body wants to go a certain way, but he knows it does better if it does this way kind of scenario. I honestly think for him, I think a late second, early third kind of pick. I think definitely late second is probably the more likely because there's enough teams out there that need a center, and he is a quality center. I think he's going to be a good player in this league. There's just a couple of guys I like ahead of him personally.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be gone for our second round pick. But you're right. Wisconsin is known for their technique, and this guy, that's probably his soft spot of all the things he's going to bring into the NFL is his technique. That being said, a good offensive coach is going to teach that technique into him.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I'm saying where I put him here, I'm still saying he's a starting center in this league. Someone's going to pick him up, and he will be a starter. Yeah. And he also looks the part, too.
Yeah.
He does. He's a good old ball.
You're saying he's going to go late into the second, into the third. I'm saying he's probably going to come in and wrap around and get drafted in the early second, mid-second.
Wrap around with a soft spot. Heyo, number 4.
Oh, geez, Luke Weipert.
He's not a blade. He's not a wiper blade.
He's not a wiper. Ohio State center, 6'3", 303 pounds. Let's go back to technique because this guy has got it.
Yeah.
He's got the mechanics that you want to see from a center.
He's got the moves like Jagger.
He definitely has got the move like Jagger's. Jagger from like 40 years ago, not like Jagger now.
Yes.
Popping out a kid at 78.
Oh, my God.
He's probably the best in this draft in the pass blocking. He can go to the gym a little bit more. His strength's a little down, but like he's got the technique.
Yep.
but 5'3" Bud goes a long way. But he also can only play the center. Yeah. So like he's not the utility knife, the Swiss Army knife that Giants like that draft.
And again, we've talked about this before. We talked about him, Jersey boy.
Jersey.
He'd be coming back home if we drafted him. I like him a lot. I'm a little higher. I'm a little higher on him than other people are. I think if we get him with the right strength and conditioning coach and get a little more power out of his legs, I think he's going to be better in the run block than he's been so far. And I think that's a coachable, teachable thing. That's not there's people that have some bad technique that you go, this is just what they do. Like their body just wants to do that. You can't stop them. There's other people that don't love the game enough to learn things the right way. These aren't his issues. This needs to get a little stronger. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah. This guy.
So, yeah, I mean, another guy, late second, early third. I think that he's actually going to go after Tippmann. I think Tippmann will go before him. But I think he will be a better player in the end. And I'm going to go to this degree as well. I think Tippmann will have a better rookie year than him. But I think Whiteboard would be the better player long term because I think he'll develop that run blocking better and end up beating out Tippmann for the better of the two of those.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, but
you're okay. No, listen, we can tie if you want. We can put him in the tie. Tie in. The tie goes to the runner.
Touché.
Number 3. Steve Avila, TCU guard. And he's the guy I do hear also the Giants looking at potentially as a center as well, because he has played center in college. He looks a little more natural at the guard position. 6'3.5", 332 pounds. So, yeah, he's been hitting the buffet line as well. Big guy, strong guy, ton of experience. The issues with him, though, lateral movements are a little slow. So if he's moving side by side, he's not as smooth as moving front and back at that point, which hopefully you're a blocker, you're moving just front, not back. But he's had a little bit of issues with some of the blitz pickups. And it's not this guy delays and then goes. It's more the stunt blitzes where it's like you think this guy's coming, then all of a sudden this guy kind of comes at that point. Those kind of scenarios that you see an issue with him. Again, that's something he needs to learn to read better, but I'm hoping with coaching. No disrespect to TCU because they've got a good program, but the coaches in the NFL are better than TCU's coaches are. That's another level up. So let's see if we can get that fixed perhaps. I think he's going to go in the second round. He could even be the second interior offensive lineman to go in the draft because him and the guy that you're going to talk about in a minute ago are kind of flip-flopping between that second and third spot in a lot of people's boards there. I do think that he'll go third, though, because of the fact that he plays primarily guard. And I think more people are looking for centers earlier on than guards. There's a couple teams out there, including ourselves, that need a center desperately.
Yeah, agreed. This is not, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of teams that need a guard, but the center spot is the spot that's going to be drafted way more when it comes to this line.
It's central to this draft.
It is central. Ooh, I see what you did there.
Oh, yes.
All right. Let's talk about number 2.
Yes.
Shall we? John Michael Schmitz.
John Jacob Hammerschleimer Schmitz.
John Michael Schmitz.
His name is my name, too.
Minnesota center, 6'3.5".
Minnesota, don't you know that?
Oh, don't you know?
A bunch of hosers there.
Oh, that's fantastic. So he's 6'3.5", 301 pounds. He's an anchor in pass protection. He's got great movement, especially when it comes to lateral movement. Super experienced. So Giants, take a look over here. He's got a lower ceiling than some would like.
Yeah,
but
24 years old already.
Think
about this. Hypothetically, if someone drafts this kid in the first round, he won't even reach free agency till he's 29.
Gotta love that COVID year.
That's rough. That is rough. But between the age, the experience, and that's the issue people have as they watch this guy. And I think the consensus is he's going to be an above average center in this league. But the consensus also is how much room for improvement is there when he's at this age and experience level already? Like, do you really see him?
Old.
He's at the age where a lot of these guys are 2-3 years into the league and now they've reached their potential. So do you think there's a higher potential for this guy? Or do you think he already has? And that's the discussion. You got to look at that tape and make that discussion amongst your coaches and figure it out which one you think is the case there. But I'll tell you, for all the hype Giants fans have in this guy, I didn't like the tape as much as I thought I did. I thought I would, I should say. I mean, he was good, don't get me wrong, but there's Giants fans out there that think this guy is the second coming of Jesus and walks in the water. He's going to be a really good center. But I'm telling you, if we lose him and we go with a guy like Weipler or we go with a guy like Tipman, it's not a big a drop-off as some people are trying to tell you guys, folks. It's not as big a drop-off. Is it a drop-off? Yes. John Michael Schmitz is the best center in this draft. But it's not the end of the world. It's not like you go, oh my God, we could have had this all-pro center that's like the best center in the entire league. He's probably not going to be that good.
I mean, time will tell.
Yeah. But I make the bold choices.
Yeah.
I make bold choices and bold coffee, damn it. I really do, actually, too. At my job, I'm the one who usually goes out and gets the coffee, and I get the K-Cups from Costco, and I get like the Starbucks knockoff one they make. This thing is like tastes like it's been burnt to a crisp and then put through my God. I love that. Like, I've had people complain even that my coffee's too strong, and I'm like, well, go elsewhere than coffee. I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is the coffee we're drinking, damn it. Alrighty. Number one.
Wardo.
Osiris Torrance out of Florida. Guard. 6'5", 330 pounds. That's a big boy. So he played actually previously at the University of Louisiana Lafayette and then went with his previous head coach to Florida. Guy is dominant in the run. He's an anchor in the pass. He's a physical blocker. The only issue there is with him is just based on his style, based on his strengths, he's not going to fit every single system because he is slow in lateral movement. And it pretty much looks like it's not a coaching thing, but it's a physical limitation. So if you're not a guy who depends on a guard to go ahead and move around like crazy, to go ahead and go as a lead blocker on screens or, go ahead and pull pretty often, I think that he's the guard that you'd be missing if you didn't get him because he is that good. I think this kid actually has all-pro capabilities at the guard position in the right system. Whether he reaches that potential depends on him, the team, and the system they put him into. But I actually like him that much. Really impressive tape. And I actually went back to Lafayette and looked at some of his tape on there. Talk about a man amongst boys. Tossing people around like a rag doll. Who's bad. Good for him, bad for them. He's going to be a first-round pick. I would say probably late round. But if he goes mid-round, it's not going to shock me because we've talked about this before. This is not a top-heavy draft. And when you have a not top-heavy draft, it makes people draft for need more often because they go, okay, there's like 10 players that are pretty much the same kind of grade here. And then you go for who you need. So the first team in like the mid to late first round that really needs a guard and can't pass up because the best one in this draft is available, they're going to take them. And they're not going to regret it.
No. That's pretty spot on right there. I mean, like I said, dude's a brick
house.
Well, he's a brick house.
He's mighty.
He's drinking that bold coffee.
He's drinking that bold coffee. As Connor says, have you tried Death Wish K-Cup? Heard it strong. I have not.
It is amazing.
The difference with that is that's high caffeine. I don't necessarily like the high caffeine. I like the strong flavor. It's like And if people that complain about not liking strong flavor in coffee, that to me is the same as somebody says, I don't like fishy fish. If you don't like fishy fish, you just don't like fish. Just say I don't like fish. Like, could you imagine someone go, I'm sorry, this chocolate is too chocolatey.
Hey,
no,
listen, there's milk chocolate, there's dark chocolate, there's cocoa chocolate. Like,
but no one would ever say this is too strong a chocolate taste. Nobody would ever say that. Because they like chocolate. No one would say this caramel tastes too caramelly.
Also out there, besides Death Wish, I think it's made by the same people. There's a coffee brand called Valhalla. It'll take you to Valhalla. It is amazing.
Oh,
strong and high caffeinated.
Like
It'll
me.
send you to the gods.
Oh yes. A warrior's death for you.
Yeah. A heart attack by 9 a.m.
All righty, guys. So that's our interior offensive lineman here. If you guys have a favorite yourself, pop in the comments. Let us know what you think there. Or if you're watching after the fact, add a comment on the video. Add a comment into the the podcast platform there, as you give us a nice little review, maybe. Ooh, nice review. Connor says, "Oh, hold on. I'm not that Italian. I'm gonna have trouble with pronouncing this one here. Sega Fredo, Zanetti ground coffee, Enzo dark roast, Sega Frodo. Oh, with Frodo. What's this? Lord of the Rings? Zanetti Forte espresso cap. Okay, dude. I don't listen. If you want to write that in English, Connor." Is this like a different K-Cup thing? Is that what this is? Or is this a brand that makes K-Cups? I'm not understanding the Zega, Vredo, Zanetti, and Forte and all that kind of stuff there. But yeah, I love coffee though, so I'm kind of curious because he says this is good too. So we'll see if he gets back to us on that one there. I'm curious. You struck my interest now. So let's go over some of the tackles here real quick for you guys. This is going to be a little quicker because let's be frank, we got 2 starting tackles. We don't need a starting tackle. The only thing we may see is if one of them drops, you may very well see us pick up maybe a swing tackle in this draft because, let's be honest, Evan Neal, we're still a little unsure on him. Injuries also happen. You still need a swing tackle. You want Matt Perk to be your swing tackle? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Connor says that was English. They make K-Cups and capsules. See, there we go. So I guess it's an Italian brand that makes K-Cups. It sounds Italian. I don't know. It's got a vowel at the end. I can say that I'm Italian. It's okay. So like I said, not a lot of Italian, but I'm just Italian enough to be able to say this stuff. I'm 20%. I did my 23andMe. It's okay.
Just not 23%.
I know. I never even recognized this logo. So yeah, I'll have to check this out now. I'm curious, Connor. Let's see if I can find it, and maybe I'll try it and let you know what I think there one of the episodes whenever I get to the grocery store. I avoid the grocery store though, because to be honest, everything costs too much goddamn money and it just ticks me off. I'm like that old guy and I should be able to get a quarter and go ahead and get
my
a burger.
Coffee and my espresso used to cost the same amount as my ground coffee now.
My Italian coffee is too much money.
Yeah.
That, and the problem is when I'm at home, I won through my job. I won like a $500 espresso maker. And that's what I typically will use because it makes some very nice coffee. It's some nice little lattes and all. Though I still want to figure out how to make the patterns with the milk and the cream and all. I can't do it. I want to do it one day. That'd be awesome. Remember in Green Hornet? Have you ever watched that horrible movie when he did it like that with the leaves? Like, I want to do that. I can't do that.
You gotta froth it just right, and then you could actually, if you do it just right, you can use a straw to froth it.
Connor says that's why I go to Amazon, wait for deals, never go to a store hoping they have something. Here's the problem, Connor. I hate Jeff Bezos. I really do. That man has put so many small businesses out of business. Like, they'll literally find something that works good on Amazon, and they'll make their own version of Amazon Basics and drop whoever's making a lot of money to like page 3 and take all their business away with them. That's horrible. That's what happens though when you own the platform and you make the products on top of that, I guess.
Yeah, you're looking for something specific.
Capitalism at its worst there.
Yeah.
All righty, on to tackles here, guys. So you're up first there, Rob, with number 10.
Warren McClendon. McClendon. McClendon, Georgia, 6'4", 300 pounds. The dude did not skip chest day. He's got great upper body strength. He's got short burst ability.
Muscular moves.
He's got chesticles. They're not moves, they're chesticles.
Does he shape them then?
Manscaped. Guy is super competitive. But I think sometimes when he gets into the mode, his competitiveness gets into his head and his technique slips away from him. And then it causes balance issues. He's not.
Yeah.
He gets him his own I feel like he's his own worst enemy. AutoZone. He's not his own.
AutoZone, if you'd like to sponsor us, 2 giant goofballs at mail.com.
But like I said, super competitive, but I feel like he's his own worst enemy. His technique slips away from him. Then he gets hand technique issues. His balance issues start coming off. And just his straight up, blocking issues.
I think the fact that he did well in the SEC is really why people have him as high, and partly why we had him on this high, to be very frank. When you're looking for people towards the mid rounds, it's nice to get somebody who didn't fail at the SEC, because the SEC is, I wouldn't want to say it's NFL level. That's this disrespect to even the worst NFL teams, but it's as close as you get. So if you succeed there, you're probably going to make it in the NFL.
Yeah.
To what degree, we'll find out as you go, but you're probably going to make it. So I'm thinking a round 3, round 4 for this guy, depending on how desperate people are for a tackle at that point in the draft and how much they like him. But I'll tell you, this guy's up front. When me or Rob are giving you ideas on where we think these guys are going to go, it's a goddamn crapshoot of tackles. The tackles really are not very good in this draft. If you need a tackle, you're in trouble. It's kind of like if you need a number 1 wide receiver, you're in trouble, because there's not a lot of them really that you're going to go, okay, this is a good player at this point. I like this guy. Let's go have this guy be my starter. A lot of the guys, even towards the top of this list, are based on potential. I hate drafting potential in the first round. I really do.
Skip.
Yep. So, alrighty. So, like I said, I think 3rd, 4th round for him. Where are you at? Were you thinking the same, or
probably 4th round? I don't think I see him in the 3rd.
Honestly, I think the only reason he would go to the 3rd is because of where he comes from.
Probably
to be very frank.
Desperation.
Yeah, somebody's going to go, okay, he didn't look like an idiot in SEC, and I need a tackle, and we're losing tackles quickly. Let's go. Next up, though, number 9 is a guy from a very small school, Nick Saldiveri, out of Old Dominion, 6'6", 307 pounds. Really good pass blocker. Got some good size, obviously. 6'6", going to give you some long arms, some big hands. You can't avoid that. But he's been inconsistent.
Big and wide.
He's been inconsistent in the run game, though, and that's been one of the major issues with him. He's also not the best at the second level, especially in the run. So if you have him pop this one guy and then go move off to try to pop the linebacker, he's not quick with his feet enough to go ahead and do that. And he's also not going to be necessarily the best at the first guy, because his initial hand moves aren't always on point. In the pass protection, he's better because of the fact that if he misses that first one, he tends to make the adjustments and get to where he's got to get to. When you do that in run blocking, especially when you're to pop and go to the second level at that point, that's not going to be very effective. So that's a coaching thing. I think that's why a lot of people see some good in him, because they think if they can coach that out of him, good to go. The one thing that really does scare me, though, again, is where he comes from. A small school guy. Some of these small school guys, they really impress you when they get the NFL, and you're like, why did he go to such a small school? but some of them,
Yeah.
you go, maybe he looked better because of who he played against.
Yeah.
It can go either way. So he's another guy, I think, like third, fourth round. I think somebody will probably take him more as a swing tackle with as a project to hopefully get him to be an eventual starter. But I think in a pinch, somebody may end up starting him because just, let's be honest, everybody needs a lineman. That's just the NFL nowadays.
Everybody needs a lineman.
Yes.
No, I see. He's probably going to get drafted in early fourth.
Yeah, but good spot for him.
Yeah, that's what I see. Going on to number 8, we got
The Ocho.
ESPN Ocho. Jalen Duncan out of Maryland.
Yes.
6'6", 315 pounds. It's a big dude.
Drew, and have you noticed that we keep on having every single list we have a guy from Maryland? If not 2. That's weird to me. It's not like you look at the Maryland football team powerhouse.
It's true. Like, I never really didn't think about that before. But yeah, you're right.
But we know what's also weird is the Maryland team has had some football NFL players make it. That's the weird thing. They don't have a lot of them, don't get me wrong, like Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore, Vernon Davis. I mean, they've had some guys come out of Maryland that have succeeded. So it's weird. I just wanted to point that out because it's almost like it's more me trying to say kudos to you, Maryland. Because for a smaller school to get your stuff together like that, that's pretty good. Connor gave us a couple of comments here too as well, real quick, while we're skipping to the middle of this here. I already interrupted you once, I'm also interrupt you more.
Yeah.
Connor says it's okay to hate them, but you still get stuff easier there. Yeah, and that's the convenience. I do a lot of my Christmas shopping on there for that reason. McClendon sounds Scottish, John. S. Anderson Jr. would like him by the looks of him. He's back Scottish. Yeah, I don't know if he's actually Scottish, but it is a Scottish sounding name, that's for sure. All righty, so back to Jalen Duncan. Not to be confused with Duncan McLeod as we keep on going with the Scottish theme here.
There's going to be one.
There can be only one. Here we are.
Yeah, so he's got a good size, his length, obviously at 6'6". He's got great lateral movement. It's very fast. The thing is, when you look at the tape, he's also inconsistent with his technique.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I got another guy with some T-Rex arms. I want to do push-ups.
Reminds me of Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah.
But you just got that, right? Remember that movie?
I haven't seen that forever.
That little T-Rex.
Your arms.
He's got little tiny arms. But yeah, I mean, he's not a very strong attacker, and I think that's the one thing that I don't like about him is because that's what you can't teach. You either got that kind of fire or you don't. You can try to fake the fire all you want, but
you got to be aggressive or you're not.
Someone's gonna call out your BS if you try to fake some fire. And
especially at this level in the NFL.
There's a lot of guys who like this kid a lot more than I did, to be honest with you. And I only say that because, again, I try to be unbiased on opinions here. There are some people who really think he's one of the top tackles in this draft. I don't, and partially because the fire thing we talked about a second ago, but it's also the short arms. I think he's going to move inside the guard. I think someone's going to try him out as a tackle, and they're going to go, okay, he's 6'6", 115 pounds. This is a tackle all day long. And they're going to see these little T-Rex arms and what they do, and he's going to become a guard. Now, I could also be wrong on this because you look at the measurables, he's actually got similar to Rashawn Slater, who everybody said the same thing of coming out of college and then just totally lit it up his first year in the NFL. Obviously, his second, he was out with an injury the whole year, so we'll see if that lasts long term. But yeah, like I said, I think he's going to push in as a guard eventually with the guy you might be able to push back out to tackle in case of an injury there. But I think he will be drafted initially as a tackle. That's why we got him on this list as that. But I think a third-round talent at that point. But again, a lot of people like him, so I wouldn't be shocked if he stuck into the second round, be in a position that is a strong value position and a position that a lot of people need, and the fact that some people just really like him. So, like I said, I think third. Wouldn't shock me if the end of the second somebody takes him.
Yeah, I don't see him going in the second, but
it's all based on need, man.
Yeah.
When there's a run, sometimes it's like you ever see like in It's a Wonderful Life when there's the bank run, everybody starts going crazy for their money. Like that's what happens in the draft sometimes. Is like, oh my god, 2 tackles went off the board. Get the tackle, get him.
Listen, and for you guys out there that's never actually drafted in the NFL, you do your fantasy draft, and someone drafts the top-ranked quarterback. What do? Everyone goes, I need a quarterback, even though the guy drafted way too early. Yeah, that's the same thing in real life.
Yeah, it happens all the time because you worry about the missing out there at that point. As Houday comes with, what's up, Houday?
What's up?
What's up? We're going style here. All righty. So, number 7, Matthew Bergeron, Syracuse. Wait, it's my turn, isn't it?
Sorry, good. Excited.
Oh, okay, I was like, wait, did I take his turn? Damn it, you got me. Number 7, Matthew Bergeron, Syracuse, 6'5", 322 pounds. Very experienced, had a nice long college career. Good movement, good range, bad length. Not the strongest in the world, and needs a little work on his hand technique. I do think because most of his leg work is good enough, I think he's not going to have the same issues with the range we talked about with Duncan there. I do think that someone is going to be able to go ahead and use him as a tackle, but I think it's going to limit how good of a tackle he can be because of that. I do think somebody will take him in the second round, though. I think that's probably the range he'll go. And again, I hate keep on repeating this, but this is why. It's because it's just not a lot of tackles out there. This is not a good draft for tackles, and you need 2 on the field at all times on offense. So guess what's going to happen? People are going to get drafted earlier than they should because people need tackles.
Yeah, I mean, just picking it back off what you said, like he's not the strongest, he's not the most tactical, but like he's got the right movement, he's got the right size to be.
He's got the urge to herbal.
He's got the urge to herbal. So maybe a team out there could actually
natural botanicals. I don't know why I remember that whole commercial. I do though.
That's pretty sad.
It was a good one. That's how sad my life is.
But I'm just saying, maybe Matt could, use a beefcake.
Look at this, Connor. Houday, you're in the wrong spot. New Orleans Saints is another group. Just kidding. Welcome. Listen. Don't forget Eli was from New Orleans, damn it. Eli was from New Orleans. So
Eli Apple also went down to New Orleans.
I think OBJ was too, wasn't he? I want to say he was. I want to say he actually went to the same high school as Eli. So, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Listen, we got some New Orleans roots here on our team. So, all welcome.
Going out to man number 6. Or
number
actually,
6.
Where you see Bergen going? Did you talk about that?
Yeah, I said second round. I think he'll go. And again, because she's the weak class.
Yeah,
there'll be a run. There'll be a run on tackles because of the fact that people are going to need them. That's all it boils down to.
Yeah.
Reaching.
Once that run goes, I mean,
reaching out.
Yeah.
Touching tackles that are touching defensive ends.
Tackling me.
Sweet spot to draft.
Yeah, I see him with
we're like half football show, half karaoke.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
we apologize for our bad thing.
We got spot number 6, Darnell White, Tennessee. 6'6", 335 pounds. He's played both sides of the tackle position.
Oh, he's played both sides, huh?
Both sides. He goes. He bats on both sides of the fence.
Now, so I'm just going to guess.
Everyone gets a turn.
Just based on your shirt that you're a big fan of him, or you just got out of jail.
I just got out of jail. No, I mean, he's got great technique.
For those who aren't watching on video, Rob is sporting a lovely bright orange shirt.
It's Mets orange, by the way.
Is that Mets orange?
Actually, yeah.
Looks like Monmouth County Correctional.
I was just in Freehold. Sorry, guys.
When do you get that teardrop tattoo?
Nowhere. Yeah, but this guy's got great hand technique. He's strong and patient in the pass. And he's got a little range when it comes to the run game, though. But yeah, he needs to improve on some. He's got good hand technique, but he can improve on some of his setup to his technique, like getting down lower, setting up, squatting up, getting his leverage in.
Getting down and dirty.
Getting down dirty. Getting down dirty.
I don't know why I'm doing that instead. Trying to catch him riding dirty is that. But yeah, I mean, he was a very effective tackle for what was a very high potent offense with the Tennessee Volunteers this year. I mean, look at the fact that you're talking about two of the better receivers in this class are coming out of this offense. Hendon Hooker, who, let's not hold his ACL injury against Darnell right here, but before that, he was very good. And he's still, ACL injury, still may sneak into the first round as a quarterback this year as well. So, someone had to block for him. You don't get the ball off and do that kind of offense unless somebody can block for you. So I think he's going to go in the beginning of the second round there. And I think if somebody can work on a couple of the issues he has as far as bend, leverage, that kind of stuff, I think he could end up being a solid tackle in this league for years. I really do. I actually like him, I think, a lot more than some others do.
No, agreed. Yeah, I definitely see him sneak around the bend into the start of the second into mid-second.
You can't say he plays both sides and then see him sneaking around.
Oh, he's a sneaky bend around.
All righty. Number 5, DeWand Jones, Ohio State. Ohio. This man is a giant, and I don't mean we're going to draft him. I mean, he's freaking tall as hell. 6'8", 360 pounds.
Big
Goddamn.
He's a big boy.
Goddamn. This is the biggest guy I've seen in the draft so far that we've looked at. It's insane, the size. So huge size, obviously, huge length because of his height, extremely strong. He actually has a little better movement than you'd expect for a guy his size. That being said, if you need somebody who's moving around as a very mobile tackle, the 6'8", 360-pound guy is probably not the guy for you. Call me crazy. It's like you don't see Mekhi Becton moving anywhere except the IR. Just saying. Like, guys that big, you don't want them moving around. That's not what they do. Their job is just to stand there and push people. That's what you want. Push them. Push it real good. Boom, 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 boom. So he's going to be a right tackle purely. He's not going to be a left tackle because of the fact that he doesn't have the motion that you want, where if somebody gets around the edge, he's not going to have the recovery speed and he's going to hit your blind side. But as a right tackle, he's got some promise. And I say some promise because, to be honest, I'm not sold on him. The only reason I have him so high is his size. You can't teach size. You're either a big bastard or you're not. Let's call it what it is. So,
yeah,
it's like I said, if he can get some of the issues that he has because of his size, because let's be honest, motion, leverage, that kind of stuff, that's hard because of his height and his weight. If he can fix some of that stuff up and fine-tune it a little bit there, or if some of the NFL case, listen, we're going to get you down to like 335, 340, where I think he'll be moving a little better. I think he's got some potential. But again, we talked about earlier, you're going to see some of these guys towards the front of this that you're drafting based on potential. That's what we're talking about here with this guy. You're drafting him based on potential.
Yeah. So people out there in podcast land and
hello, podcast land.
Podcast land. This guy's 6'8". I'm a 5'10", 220-pound, 225-pound guy. This guy's got 10 inches and 140 pounds on me. That is
was that before? Was that before or after jail?
Oh, definitely before jail. I'll be getting stuffed in jail, so I'll probably weigh a little bit more.
Listen, I got the height at least because I'm 6'7", so he's only got 1 inch on me, but he's got almost 100 pounds on me. That's
massive,
crazy.
dude.
That's crazy. Like I said, this is Mekhi Becton level size. Like he's that big. Like
yeah.
He's gonna be a name to keep an eye on because he could develop into something that's hard to come by because you don't get many people that size even in the NFL.
No.
That's freaking massive. So, alrighty, number 4,
Peter Skorzanski.
Skoronski.
Listen, we'll just call him Peter Ski.
We can go back to Green Hornet with this one if you want. What's the guy's name that everybody kept to mispronounce? He was getting so ticked off. I forget his name, but it was like that kind of ski kind of name, like a Polish sounding name, like an Eastern European name. Coach
Ski, this is honor to you. We're going to call him Peter Ski.
Oh yeah, remember Coach Ski back in high school? Yeah, if anybody's watching good old Raritan High School here, yeah, you're an ox moose.
He said that to me.
I think his last. Oh, he said to everybody.
He called me an ox and then called me a moose as I was in the middle of a bench press doing my 1 rep max, weighing like 170 pounds in high school, and I had like 205 pounds, and I started laughing hysterically, and I dropped the barbell on my chest.
Yeah, I want to say his full name was Skininski, right? If I remember right.
I want to say yes.
I think it was. It's been many years since I've seen or even thought of that man, so I don't know. He was one of the football coaches too. Ironically enough, we're on a football podcast now.
Yeah.
So
football and wrestling.
Anyway, back to Skoronski.
Skoronski, 6'4", 294 pounds. Dude's got great football IQ. Great hand technique. He's also position versatile. He's got good run blocking. Great run blocking, if I dare.
Mm-hmm. You dare.
I do dare. But he also has some trouble setting up an edge, in some advanced moves. So it's like...
Yeah.
He's great with the basics. Once you start putting some sneaky sneaks in there.
I think part of that, though, as far as the advanced moves, is his size. I do think that's part of it. When you're because he's got really short arms, doesn't have the wingspan you really want to tackle. It's a little bit of an outlier in that way. And I think it's part of that is the recovery because you're trying to go like this, but you're really stopping over here. You know what I mean? They're not quite getting to where you need to get to recover with your hands because your arms just aren't long enough to do it. That's part of it, I think, with him. I really do. I think his physical limitations show up against some of the better guys he's had to go against.
I think you coach that to him. He's not the biggest guy. Obviously, we just talked about 6'8", 380 pounds.
Yep.
And this guy's 90 pounds lighter, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big difference.
Big difference.
I'm going to say this, though, as I give my bullish prediction with this guy. He will have the most successful career of any lineman in this draft because he's extremely polished.
I was going to get there. I think technique is going to beat out all the work. Technique and hard work is going to beat out everything else that's coming through this draft. And his size isn't there, but his technique is, and technique will beat out size.
Yeah, but I do think he's going to move to get guard. I think someone's going to draft him as a tackle. He's going to be okay, but you'll see what I'm saying as far as the short arms. But I do think that he will become a guard in the end, and I think he'll be a very good guard once somebody makes that move to put him in there. And that's where I think he's going to make his move in this league. I really do. I think he's going to be an excellent guard for somebody for years and years. This is going to be the guy that you put in, and he goes ahead and plays that position for a good decade and just holds it down.
Thanks, yeah.
So, all righty, guys. So I think mid to late first round. And I think, again, because of the fact that he has the short arms is the only limiter. Like, if somebody could, stretch this man's arms out and do a little stretch Armstrong on him, he'd be the first lineman taken off the draft. He's that good. But I do think that because of that physical limitation, you'll see him again more mid to late first, and somebody will probably start him off at tackle and eventually move him over to guard, unless somebody realizes that I'm right off the bat, just puts him right at guard. So,
yeah, we shall see.
Alrighty, on to number 3, Anton Harrison, Oklahoma, where they have tackles in the draft.
Oklahoma.
6'5", 309 pounds, good length, great movement. He's a better pass blocker than a run blocker, which is a weird thing. You've seen that a lot in this draft here. And I wonder if it's partially because the college is just moving much more to a pass-heavy offense there. Good size, obviously. Needs to get a little stronger because if you look, we talked about 6'5", 309 pounds. So he's got the height. He could probably add about 20 more pounds, get a little more muscle on him, a little more strength. He's had a little bit of issues with hand placement issues again as well. But when you watch this guy in pass protection, he's got that mentality of he's got to win. You can't coach that.
No.
He's got it. I think mid to late first round for him. I think probably more like at the late first round. The only reason I put him in mine as higher than Skoronski is because he is a true tackle, and I dinged him a little bit now for the guard tackle thing because I think that's where Skoronski's going to go, even though he's going to be drafted probably as a tackle. Harrison is a legit tackle that I think has an okay floor and a decent ceiling on him. So I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do in the league. I think he's going to be a good player.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a hands down a great player. And I see him going late in the first round. I don't see mid, but I see late first round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think somebody, if they're desperate for one.
Third.
Yeah, I think if they're desperate for one, it's one of those kind of moves. You're going to see some people reaching in this first round, I'm telling you, because there's not a lot of top talent. There's not a lot of quote-unquote blue chip prospect kind of guys. Like, it's almost to the point where you could end the first round after, 18 picks probably, because the rest of them is going to be second round grade people that are drafting in the first round, including our pick.
Yeah,
it's going to happen probably. Alrighty, number 2.
Brock Jones. Let's call him Brock. Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones.
Wow, here I go. Broderick Jones, Georgia.
Here I go. What's your weakness? Tackles.
Pronounce the names. Broderick is 6'4", 315 pounds. Dude is an amazing athlete, especially with his size. He's got a finisher mentality, plays out through the whistle, which is what you want to see. Because no play is done until the whistle is blown. So let's play it to the end. I don't think he's reached the ceiling anytime. He's got a very high ceiling coming into this draft, and I think
this is a potential pick. That's what this is. This is a pick you're picking based on potential. Yeah,
and we talked before. I don't like picking out potential, but I think this guy, I think Jones has what it takes to be a great guy in this league. Granted, he is also overly aggressive at times, but yeah, I see this guy going mid first round,
and that's part of that. We talked about playing through the whistle. We talked about being that kind of aggressive kind of guy. That does come back to bite you if you get overly aggressive, but you don't want to stop the over aggression to where it's penalty issues and stuff like that if it's going to prevent him from having the mentality otherwise. So I do think, though, this is a guy that's going to start right off the bat, but he's going to need some coaching help in the end. 19 starts in college, that's it. 19. A couple of them were for 2021 coming off an injury. Just kind of substituting in like that. This was the first year he was a legit starter for the Bulldogs. But he looks good, and he's big. He makes everything you want as far as the size, the athleticism, the dog mentality. No pun intended for the Bulldog there. But he's got all of that. So if you're going to pick him, you're going to pick him earlier than you probably want to. And you're to pick him because you're confident that your scouts are telling you he's going to mature and grow into what you think he can be, which is going to be a damn good football player. And I think so. I really do. I mean, I'm a big fan of Georgia tackles overall. Andrew Thomas, need I say more? But yeah, I think he's going to be, honestly, initially I was thinking mid to late first round. I could pretty much see him go anywhere in the first round because someone could fall in love with the potential and take him really early. You could see teams go, wait a minute, I need to see more tape on this guy to feel that confident, take him as a top 15 pick. So gonna go in the first round, but he can go anywhere, I think, in the first round, and it wouldn't shock me. But he's gonna be somebody that I think is gonna be like we talked about with Quentin Johnston. We're talking about the wide receivers, is him being the boom or bust. This is the boom or bust in the tackle group. He's gonna be the boom or bust. He's gonna be really, really good or really, really bad. There will be no in between for him.
I see him in the mid first round. Like
I said, nothing's gonna shock me with this one. Alrighty. Number one.
Numero uno.
The last one of the evening. Paris Johnson Jr., Ohio State. 6'6", 315 pounds. Basically the ultimate athlete for his size. Big guy, sitting there like a bear on skates, moving around gracefully. Very coordinated. Shows ability to recover. We talked about with the Skoronsky where he has a little trouble because of his hands getting back into place and recover. Paris Johnson is one of the greatest guys you'll see in college as far as recovery. He makes mistakes. He's not perfect because he's only been one season as a left tackle. But when he makes these mistakes, he has the ability to recover. He has the ability to make the right move to go ahead and knock the guy in the right spot. So this quarterback's got a little bit more time at that point. High ceiling, high floor kind of guy. He's easily, to me, the best tackle in this draft. He needs some work, like I said, because he's got the 1 year. His biggest issue is hand technique. He needs to get his hands just in the right spot. We talked about the ability to recover. He had to use that ability more than he probably should have because of his hand technique. Top 15 pick, I think. Honestly, if he makes out the top 5 even, I'll be almost a little surprised. Sorry, top 10, I'll be a little surprised. Because it's such an important position, and I would not shock me at all to see the Chicago Bears take him. I think that's probably where he'll end up going. He'll go that high. I think they're picking, 9th now because they got the pick from the Panthers, remember, right?
Yeah.
So
I was going to say like pick 8, 10, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. The Bears.
Bears.
So,
maybe Justin Field doesn't have to run for his life.
Oh, he probably will anyway.
Oh, yeah.
He just runs anyway. He's like Lamar Jackson. You can't coach it out of them. It's part of who they are. You take it as what it is, And listen, where did Justin Fields play? Ohio State.
Touche.
So, yeah.
Gushy.
Like I said, they'll have some connections there to talk about. That's for sure. So, yeah, guys, like I said, definitely want to have you guys pop in comments here. Even if you're watching after the fact, I want to hear what you guys think as far as the picks here. We got a couple more comments from Connor. Connor's been active tonight. I appreciate it, Connor. Thanks, see Connor. Here. Roberto, good hand technique. Is that what you're talking about your cellmate? Says
super.
And this comment here was when we were talking about DeJuan Jones from Ohio State there. He said could be a good guard, open up for the run game. I think he'll make it as a tackle, Connor. I really do. But he's big enough where, you're going to find a place for a guy of that size. He says, Drew, you're 6'7". Well, at least you just don't have to vote. Well, hello. I'm going to take that one off. My wife is related to Rob. He doesn't want to see that.
That's my cousin.
That's his cousin. Connor says, if I can ask, what do you guys do for a living? When do you find the time to get all this info done on all these guys? Just read seats, watch videos, etc. Connor, honestly, me and Rob both work good 50 hours a week. What it boils down to is we're just pure addicts. So
when the missus is asleep next to me and I'm up way too late for work, I'm looking at the draft notes. Yeah. When I wake up late for work and I'm on the toilet, I'm looking at draft notes.
Thank you for that image. I appreciate that, Rob.
Yeah, it's like, I should be out of here.
Yeah. And I mean, part of the benefit for me is we shoot 3 days a week. So I got 4 more days I can do homework and all. I just prepare ahead of time. Luckily, I pretty much have no life besides work and football. I've reached that point in my life where I'm like, I'm home. I'm not going anywhere. Once I hit 40, it was all down at that point. So, alrighty, guys. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and continue this with you guys here. We got the Edge group coming on Monday for you. So we'll talk some pass rushers, which, again, keep in mind, we got 2 really good young pass rushers, but one of them had trouble staying on the field. We have Jihad Ward as a backup edge rusher, but who else we got besides him? Are we going to count on guys who can't stay healthy or haven't shown anything in the league yet after 3 or 4 seasons? It's going to be a position that we're probably going to pick one player up, I'm thinking, in this draft out of. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys a rundown of those guys. Go over their specialties, their pros, cons, because keep in mind, they don't have a few different types of edge rushers. There's run guys who set the edge for the run. There's pure pass blockers. There's guys who do a combo of both. As Connor says, that doesn't answer what you do for a living. I see you caught on, Connor. We like to stay not in trouble with our bosses because we talk about things that aren't exactly work appropriate on the show. So I can tell you this: I'm in the auto repair industry. I can tell you that much. But I don't go to specifics. I keep this and work a little separate there just to keep myself out of trouble. I like my job. I'd like to keep it. Yeah.
I teach guys how to drive and service customers.
There we go. That sounds a little perverted, but okay.
Ooh.
They drive around servicing customers.
Hey, kid. Get in the van.
Learn these skills in jail. It's the last time Rob ever wears an orange shirt of the show.
Yeah.
It's all right. We got new shirts today. Actually, wearing for a little while on the show here. It'll be almost like a work uniform here on the show. So that'll be coming Monday, guys. So definitely, you guys are going to want to see what happens Monday. Some hilarity, something new. We have a new sponsor starting on Monday, guys.
It's fantastic.
Of course, you can still sponsor the show as an individual at buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Again, it's buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Again, we're live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We will also be live for the entirety of the first 2 days of the NFL draft. We will still be on day 3. Don't get me wrong. We'll be on that evening to give you guys a rundown, or we might even just pop in randomly. Who knows when on that? So the best way to find out when we go live, there's a little bell if you're on YouTube.
Ding.
There's a like if you're on Facebook. There's a subscribe if you're on podcast land. So keep in mind that we go live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I wish Instagram. I wish they would do it on Instagram.
It would be nice.
Instagram doesn't do it fully like that. I wish we could. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. If you want to comment like Connor's been doing here, and be even a couple other people as well, we have of course the YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch are the places that we can see those live. Connor says, why sponsor you if you have a sponsor? You think we're made of money? LOL. Connor, someone has to be. We're not.
Yo.
But
driving a big old truck,
delivering
candy,
fixing cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we'll be going live with a lot more draft coverage for you guys. If you don't have the ability to watch us live, of course, we're available on all those platforms after the fact. You can rewatch the programs there. It's almost like you're with us. It's almost like you can just
close.
Yes, you can just put in your comments section still at that point what you think. And of course, we're available on every podcast platform known to man. So, guys, enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much for watching and listening in here. We know you got plenty of options where you can get all your Giants news from there, especially with the draft season coming, because it's not just us now. It's also draft podcasts and things we have to compete with there. And you guys are helping us beat them.
Yes.
You are. You
single-handedly. We are the number one.
The person I'm pointing at. If you see my finger pointing at you.
Me?
You are the one I'm talking about. Yeah. So, again, guys, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you guys listening in there. It helps keep us going. And we love the fact that we see people in the box here commenting. We see people watching as well live. And it just keeps us going. It keeps us fuel for the fire there. so that we got that eye of the tiger going. So I knew he'd start. So again, guys, thank you very much for listening in. And as always, Giant fans,
go G-Man!
Go G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right?